Welcome back to MSU Tonight. I'm Dominique Duarte. Tonight in the studio we have Kayla Dunn and Todd Hill from the Todd Hill Quintet. Thanks for joining us.
We're glad
Thanks
to be
for having
here.
us.
What motivated you to start the quintet? How long has the Todd Hill Quintet been performing in the community?
Wow. The group has been around, started as a trio here in Murray back in the 1980s when I was a student at Murray State University, and then I've kept the group together for a long time now, doing everything from Memphis to Cincinnati and beyond. And then for a while I was out west in Boise, Idaho, and had a group that was working out there under the same name. So the group's been around for a while.
You're the lead vocalist. How long have you been performing with a band, and when did you discover your love for jazz singing?
I think I've been performing for about 3 years with the
group.
quintet. And I wasn't really much of a singer before that, and I definitely wasn't much of a jazz singer. I hadn't really tried a lot of singing or vocal work. But I had listened to a lot of jazz because of public radio. I'd listened to Helen Forrest or the Benny Goodman Orchestra, and I loved what I heard, and like most musicians, I wanted to participate. So I was really lucky to have the chance to do that.
Everyone loves jazz, and you seem to be pretty popular around the town. What places has the band performed, and how often do you get gigs?
Well, how often we get gigs, a lot depends on what the economy's like, because music being the first thing that's disposable for a lot of people as far as live performance. Within the area, in town, we do a lot of private affairs, things like that. So a lot of those things wind up taking place on campus at the Curris Center and things like that. But also one of our venues in town is the Big Apple Cafe. We've done a lot of things in the schools around the area. But most of the time our bigger engagements are out of town in different places all around Western Kentucky, West Tennessee, and as far, what was it, last fall to Columbus, Ohio. So we do travel when we have to travel. That's just part of what we do.
Recently you recorded a CD featuring American jazz standards. What inspired you to create the CD?
Well, Todd already had a CD with his big band, but we have been doing a lot of small group work, which is really different from big band music. It's
totally different feel for the musicians. And wow, some great musicians on the album with us. From right here in town, Scott Thiele, wonderful bass player. Dean Hughes from Princeton on drums. Derek Jones, who's the band director out at Callaway County High School, marvelous tenor sax player. And Andy Brown from down close to Chattanooga, Tennessee, and he's on guitar, graduate of the Berkeley School. And just some terrific playing on there. But I think what our idea, and Kayla, you confirm this or disconfirm it, whichever, we were trying to take a new take on some standards that some of them have been done to death in certain ways. So we were trying to take some new approaches to them. Anyway, what would you think that you'd add to that?
Mostly that we just wanted to feature the small group setting, because unlike the big band, it's a lot more improvisational, and there's a lot more of the, hey, let's try this factor, working things out on the fly and figuring out new ways to approach old standards, and yeah.
And one of the cool things about the album is that we really did it old school, the way that it would have been done 50, 60 years ago, because we eliminated the multi-tracking option by recording it live in Lovett Auditorium. We had everything set up in a circle. Justin Patton did a marvelous job as the engineer on this. And we recorded all 14 tracks within one 5-hour session. There were some little repairs to be made, little tears and stuff like that. But even a lot of Kayla's vocals are the original tracking that was done live. So it was really a throwback to an old era. But you could only do that with musicians that were very accustomed to playing together, like the band. I mean, we've been together a long time.
Well, that's all the time we have. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Dominique.
More MSU Tonight to come.